Sakashi's voice and Niharika. What about Shweta Chaturvedi, Himanshi Sharma? And there are so many. Ruchi Kushwa, Asi Magician. What about others? Vanshika, are you studying the novel?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think so, because if you would have been, you would have, in the first few seconds, you would have said yes. You took so long to reply. This means that perhaps you are not studying the novel. And until and unless you do not know the history of these characters, until and unless you don't study the plot of this novel, it's going to be utterly confusing. So you need to go through the summary at least. If you can't go through the whole of the novel word by word, it is better that you at least study the summary of the novel and read some quotes, famous quotes from Wuthering Heights. Because if you read quotes from, you can just type, you can Google quotes from Wuthering Heights. And if you read that, at least you will understand the language that is used in the novel. What kind of language was used in 18th century? What kind of language Emily Bronte uses to express her uh, characters and the ethos of the surroundings of the novel, the setting of the novel, what kind of gentry that she is dealing with. So it is very important that in order to understand the society of that time, you go through the quotes of the novel if you cannot read the entire novel. Okay. And please mute the mic. Now, since you have not gone through the story of the novel, let me repeat some points that I did in my last class. Yeah. Okay. So in my previous class, what I told you was that in 1801, there is a man named Mr. Locke who comes to this place. And here, this is a story of two families, Earnshaw and Thrushcross Grang. Yeah. Now, this Mr. Locke, he comes to Thrushcross Grang, which is an estate. Estate means a very large house with a great amount of land surrounding it. And this is a story of a place called Yorkshire. This Yorkshire is actually countryside, you may say village in England. Now here he has rented the property. He has rented a place here. So he meets his landlord, and the landlord is Heathcliff. Right. Now I told you in my previous class that Heathcliff is a person, is a child, is a foundling who Mr. Earnshaw brings to Earnshaw, Wuthering Heights. Earnshaw's place is called Wuthering Heights. It's a story of two families, Earnshaw and Linton. Earnshaw's own Wuthering Heights. Linton owns Thrushcross Grang. Right? So, but when the novel begins, it is that Mr. Lockwood, who is the narrator of the story, he is meeting landlord Heathcliff, who owns Thrushcross Grang. Is there any surprising element in this when I say this?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Thorncroft was owned by Lintons, and that is why
Yes,
he
yes, you
Heathcliff.
got to the point. Very good. This is what I just wanted, that I thought that someone is going to ask that, ma'am, I have doubt that when Heathcliff is just an orphan and who is just adopted by Earnshaw, then how can he own, how he can be the landlord of Thrushcross Grang? Okay. So see how the story has made its way to the point that Heathcliff becomes the owner of Thrushcross Grant. Okay, because the story will now be told in flashback. Now when Lockwood has come here, he has to meet Heathcliff, the landlord, and landlord lives in Wuthering Heights. He is the owner of Thrushcross Grant, but he is living in Wuthering Heights. That means that Heathcliff owns both places. He is a foundling who had come from the city. And who had brought him?
Mr. Earnshaw.
Mr. Earnshaw had brought him. And now when, so after so many years, it is, this story began somewhere in 1700s. Right now this is 1801. In this year, Mr. Heathcliff, right? Heathcliff has now become a gentleman, and he owns these two both places, Thrushcross Grant as well as Earnshaw's place, Wuthering Heights, right? And Lockwood has come here for taking a property on rent, right? So he goes to Wuthering Heights in order to meet Heathcliff, and here he finds that the people are living in a wild way. There's no respect for social customs. Okay, their behavior seems to be very unrefined. And Heathcliff is also not very polite. So because the weather is stormy and he cannot go back to Thrushcross at that time, so he has to spend night here at Wuthering Heights. And he is given a bedroom that belonged to Catherine. Right. So when he spends the night there, he sleeps there, a ghost comes of Catherine. He is haunted by the ghost of Catherine. And Mr. Lockwood screams, he shouts. And Heathcliff comes here. And when Heathcliff comes, he is not surprised that there is a ghost here in this room. And he shouts at the ghost of Catherine. So he is surprised at this. So he doesn't say anything. And then the next morning, he goes back to Thrushcross Grant, where he meets Mrs. Dean, Ellen Dean. Ellen Dean had been a servant at Wuthering Heights, and now she is servant at Thrushcross Grant, both places. So she knows entire history of both the families. So Mr. Lockwood, he asks Nellie, Ellen Dean, that what is the story about ghost? Then it is Nellie who tells this entire story to Lockwood. In this way, the novel has two narrators. Narrators means one who tells the story. The story is told from the mouth of Lockwood as well as from the mouth of Ellen Dean. Okay. Is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
To everyone? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because you know, in these online classes, it is very difficult to shout at girls. I miss shouting at you. I would have shouted when I just came to know that you have not gone through the story of the novel. So I miss this very much in the class. And in online, you seem it would look uncivil if I shout, and there it would have seemed very natural. Right? I miss that. And believe me, it's your loss that I can't shout at you. Because when I don't tell you strictly that you have to study, these online classes seem sometimes like just it's a party time, let's gather together. But it's not a party time, believe me. You have to give exams. You have to study. Right? Now coming back to the story. Now, when Ellen Dean, she tells the story. She begins with the story of Heathcliff, that how Heathcliff was brought into this home. to Wuthering Heights. She tells that tells Lockwood that Heathcliff was a foundling, and when he was brought here, as I told you in my last class, that Hindley did not like it. There had been enmity between these two boys right from the very beginning, but gradually Heathcliff and Catherine, they fell in love with each other, right? And these people, they were very ill-natured. Okay, then he says that Hindley did not like his father because father, it seemed that he loved Heathcliff so much, right? Then Hindley had to go to college for studies. This I told you in the last class itself, if you remember. I'm repeating so that there's a sort of revision. Then here in Wuthering Heights, after some years, Mr. Earnshaw died, and Hindley had got his education in college by that time, and he had even married, and so he, along with his wife, came here when the father died, and now he became the master of the house. He owned Wuthering Heights because the property now went in the hands of Hindley. And once he became the master of the house, he turned Heathcliff into his servant. He had to take revenge on Heathcliff because he thought that he felt that rivalry with Heathcliff. He thought that his father loved Heathcliff, so now Heathcliff became the servant and he had to live in the servant quarters. But Catherine, she was so much attached with Heathcliff. See, you find very strange kind of love-hate relationship between these people. Catherine is very much in love with Heathcliff, and Heathcliff is very passionate about Catherine. Rather than love, it's, to me, it seems like a passion, that they are too much attracted to each other. But at the same time, Catherine, she feels that Heathcliff, because everyone is treating him like that, and he is more like a servant to this house now. So she just very quietly goes to his place, and there they play together, they study together, and then they go to moods. Moods means wild fields. So one night, as children, this again I am repeating this incident because this incident is very important. This changes. This is a changing point of the story. That one night it happens that they too go to Thrushcross Grang, and they want to see how these wealthy people are living there. They want to see how Isabella and Edgar, who are children of Linton family, they are living, because they are thought to be at that time very stylish, very refined people. But then their dog bites Catherine, and Heathcliff and Catherine are caught. Now these people also, they think that Heathcliff is just an orphan, and they don't need to care about Heathcliff, so they kick him off, and Catherine is taken in, and they tend to Catherine. It takes at least 5 weeks to get cured, to get well again, and then she is sent back. When she comes back to Wuthering Heights, at that time she is very refined girl who knows how to behave. Her dressing sense also improves a lot. And then 3 years just pass by. Before that, one thing happens that, to Ellen Dean, Catherine is telling how much she loves Heathcliff, but then at the same time she says that Edgar has given her a marriage proposal, and she wants to marry Edgar because he is very refined, he is educated, and he knows how to behave well. All these things she tells who is out in the lobby, because it's coming like one participant is waiting in the lobby, but I can't see her name, and I can't.
I'm Neetu Yadav.
But she has raised her hand. Neetu Yadav, if you are here in the class, say yes. Neetu Yadav, are you in class? On screen, it seems that she is in the class and there is someone in waiting. And she has raised her hand also. Neetu Yadav, in class? Yes, she is in class. I can see her now. Why don't you speak? Neetu Yadav, you will be marked absent in the class if you don't say yes. Now again, she is not here in the class. Don't know, there may be some problem with her. Okay. Coming back to the story of the novel. That I told you that Catherine is too practical to marry Edgar. She is marrying Edgar Linton because she feels that she will get chance to live in a very comfortable way, in a very refined manner, and Heathcliff is just a servant, so life with her would be life with Heathcliff would be very tough. So, and without respect, she will get a lot of respect if she becomes wife of Edgar Linton. So she accepts the proposal of Edgar Linton. And when Heathcliff comes to know this, he leaves Wuthering Heights and with a feeling that he will take revenge upon this family. So he leaves this, he's heartbroken, and he leaves Wuthering Heights and he goes back to the city. And after 3 years, when he returns to Wuthering Heights, at that time he is again a very refined, he has improved his personality. You know, physically he is very strong, very attractive. His eyes are described by Emily Bronte. You know, he's very attractive and anyone can fall in love, but he's very wild. And this wild nature also seems very attractive to girls at times. So when Heathcliff returns here, he returns with the intention that he is going to take revenge. And during this time, what has happened, that Hindley, his wife, has died. Here comes Neetu again. Okay, so Hindley's wife dies. Hindley now has a child. Okay, his name is, do you remember the name of the child of Hindley?
Harrington.
Hatton. Yes, Hatton. No, not Lind. Hatton. Now this Hatton is now without mother, right? And he is raised without mother. And Hindley, after his father's death, after his wife's death, he has taken to drinking a lot. He has become alcoholic. So in one of the games, Hindley and Heathcliff, they engage themselves into gambling. And in this gambling, Hindley is defeated. And Wuthering Heights now comes to Heathcliff. He wins Wuthering Heights in gamble. And now he assumes the role of a father to Hatton. Because every time Hindley is not in awareness, he's not conscious, he's always in his drinks, drowned in his drinks. So Hatton is taken care of by Heathcliff. So it is through Hatton that Heathcliff wants to take revenge. He's treating, because Hindley did not treat him well, now he's not treating Hatton in a good way. Got the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now what happens, that now Heathcliff wants to see Catherine after marriage. He has returned after 3 years. So he goes to Thrushcross Gang and he talks to Catherine. And here Catherine again says that she is in love with, she is married to Edgar, but she says that still she loves Heathcliff. But at the same time, she says that still she is married. And Heathcliff also says, yes, you are married now. Now, this happens. And during his visits, he sees Isabella. Isabella, I told you that you know, women easily fall in love with Heathcliff because Heathcliff is so attractive. So Isabella falls in love with Heathcliff. She feels one-sided crush towards Heathcliff. And Heathcliff sees this as an opportunity. He grabs this opportunity because he has to take revenge upon Edgar Linton. Edgar Linton has married Catherine, so it's just like a Bollywood story. Right? He has to take revenge on this, so he marries his sister. Right? So Heathcliff now marries Isabella. And after marriage, he just treats her in a very disrespectful manner, disgraceful manner, tortures his sister. And Now what happens that this, yes,
वो फिर चली जाती है नंगी.
please switch off your mute your mic, Shweta Chaturvedi. Yeah. So now here what happens that Kathy watches that there is some kind of fight between Heathcliff and Edgar. Okay, and here Catherine is pregnant at that time. There's one more meeting when Heathcliff and this Catherine, they meet, and they both accuse each other. They blame each other that they couldn't get married. Heathcliff says that you just looked at the status and you didn't get married to me, and Catherine says that he was so wild that he could that she didn't prefer to marry him. Then she's pregnant. She gives birth to baby Catherine. The second Catherine comes in the story, and during this childbirth, this mother dies. Catherine dies while giving birth to Catherine. Okay. And here what is happening that Heathcliff is torturing his wife Isabella so much that Isabella is pregnant, and she just leaves Heathcliff and goes to the city. There she lives alone with his son. Heathcliff's son is Linton. Now, so you have to read the story again and again. Hindley's son is Hatton, who is raised by Heathcliff, right? Catherine's son is Linton.
Isabella's son.
Sorry, Isabella. Isabella's son is Linton, and Catherine's daughter is Catherine. I'm happy that Ashi is listening. I don't know what about others because they didn't correct me. One who corrects me is attentive in the class. Got it? Now what has happened that Hindley has died. So Heathcliff is bringing up Hareton. Catherine has died. Father is bringing up Catherine. And Isabella and Heathcliff, they have separated. Isabella is bringing up Linton. Okay, now these children, the young Catherine, because now one Catherine has died, so I'll say just Catherine. Catherine one day meets Hareton. She is also attracted towards Hareton. But then at the same time, she also sees the status. Social status is important. Hareton is a servant, according to, though, you know, who is Hareton? He is Hindley's son, right?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Hindley was the owner of Wuthering Heights. But now Heathcliff has made Hareton his servant, and so he's treated as servant, and so Catherine feels that he is a servant. That is his status at present. Okay, now they meet. Achha. And by this time, Isabella dies. So Linton comes back to Thrushcross Grange. So in this way, who is the rightful owner of Thrushcross Grange?
Catherine.
Catherine, because Catherine is Linton's, Catherine is Linton's daughter, Edgar Linton's daughter, right? But at the same time, Edgar Linton's sister's son is, Isabella's son is Linton, right? So you see that Linton is the son of Heathcliff, who was adopted by Earnshaw, and mother is Isabella, who is the daughter of this family, Linton family, right?
Yes.
Now this Linton is physically, you know, as Heathcliff is a robust personality, women falling in love with his physical personality, his dark eyes and such attractive features, but his raw, wild nature, you know, he's making fool of women. because of his personality. And here Linton is very refined, but he's sickly and pampered. Okay. Now, what is happening is that when Edgar is almost on the verge of dying, of his death, he forces Linton to marry Catherine. They are cousins, but they're in their community or in their culture, this happens. So don't say that, because in our culture, we will say that they are brothers and sisters, right? But in their culture, this happens. So Linton and Catherine, they are forced to marry. And after this marriage takes place, this is a second generation story. After this happens, soon after this marriage, Linton dies because he is very sickly and I told you in the beginning, very weak. So now Catherine is left back. Now after she comes back to Hareton, she is attracted to Hareton by his physical personality, but his social status is that of a servant. So she did not want to marry him. Now here they become friends. Okay, and while during this time, what is happening that Catherine's ghost is disturbing for 18 years Heathcliff, and so he does not want to live anymore. His health starts deteriorating. As the novel ends, now here what happens that Heathcliff, he wants that Catherine should marry Hareton. Okay, so he is on his deathbed, and he just wants to take a revenge, but he cannot because he meets his death, and that revenge remains unfulfilled. And here Catherine and Hareton, they again become, after Heathcliff's death, the whole property comes to Hareton. Catherine is the rightful owner of her property, so these two properties, they meet together. Okay, and they have fallen in love and they are planning to marry, and next new year they are going to marry. With this note, the novel ends. So this is the entire novel, and the story is very confusing, I know this, so you will have to read the story again and again in order to understand it. Now coming back to the presentation, I think this is visible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick revision so that after that we can move forward. So today just take this revision. Story of, it's a novel of revenge, romantic love which is destructive. You see how the two families are destroyed because of this passionate story of Heathcliff and Catherine. How this love story leads to the destruction of families, so many deaths. Okay, so just a quick look at these slides. So many themes are there in this novel that we would be discussing later, that what are the things that are into play, the social status, then the psychologically how their minds are working and what makes them take such decisions, whatever they are taking, right? Now this industrial revolution I told you is very important because Heathcliff is the product of this industrial revolution. Earnshaw and Linton's family stories are the stories of a feudal family. And Heathcliff is the product of industrial revolution. This industrial revolution changed the society, changed the fate of the nation. And here, this industrial revolution through Heathcliff is changing the wild moor where these two properties are located. Right? How this is happening? In literature, you have to think a lot. Your mind cannot rest. It's not something that you can just cram and uski ye theory thi, uski ye philosophy thi. So here you have to explore. So just warm up to thinking. Okay, so economic shift from feudal agricultural way of life to the fast-paced industrial world. You know, such a illegitimate children, orphans who were born, brought up in the on the streets of London, such children who were adopted by some families, how the chaos was created because of some member added to the family in this way. This is all that we'll have to discuss. Then this was what I told you. Then prologue, I told you for 7 chapters, how the story begins, right? 7, the summary I have given of 7 chapters. And from here we have to start. With this we would be doing in our next class. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
any doubt that you have at present, you may ask me. No doubts? Shweta?
Ma'am, actually, I wanted to ask about Nellie's character.
Please tell me your name first and then you can come up with the questions.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Shivani Tomar.
Shivani, yes. Yes, Shivani.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you please
Ma'am,
switch on your video also? Yes, Shivani. Huh. What's your question?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask about Nellie's character. I had actually read that she had worked in both the places and was actually, her character was questionable at some place in the novel.
See, it's a very good question. Actually, it's a very good question because Nellie's character is important in what way? Nellie's
Ma'am, because
status
she's
is
the
that,
narrator.
yeah, yes, very true. Nellie is a servant. So that means that she is not important. But in this story, she is a narrator. So whatever she is saying is through her own point of view. How a servant looks at the actions of the masters, right? So whatever she is saying is questionable because her opinions, her point of view is all biased. So this is a very important question in literature because in literature we always ask the question, what is truth? Whenever a person says, I am speaking true, so what is true according to you may not be true to me. What you have seen, what I have seen. Just let me give you an example that if suppose we both go to this Gwalior Vyapar Mela together, right? And when we come back, suppose, then Ashi asks us, what have we seen? Right? You will tell your story, I will tell her my story. So I would have seen the things of my interest. We went together, we looked at same things, but then our report to Ashi is going to be different. I will remember only the things that I am interested in. You will remember only the things that you are interested in. Actually, you are also speaking truth and I am also speaking truth. But because of our interests, because of our point of view, because of our perspectives, we too have seen different things. So our stories are going to be different. So narrator is always questionable. Right?
Yes.
She
Thank
has
you.
worked at both homes, but her attachments to the members of the families are different. She has seen different things in a different way. I hope your query is solved.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank
this
you so
question,
much.
this question is a bit early also, because as we go through the discussion, we are going to explore the story more and more. Then we will see how her character becomes questionable. Yes. Any other question? This was very good question. Any other question? So can we end the class here? Okay, most welcome. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.